ሰላም ጤና ይስጥልኝ እንደምን አላችሁ እንደምን ሰነበታችሁ ደህና ነኝ እግዚአብሔር የተመሰገነ ይሁን ዛሬ ሁለት ይዤ የምቀርበው ስለ ጎንደር ይሆናል ስንቶቻችን ነን ስለ ጎንደር የምናውቀው በአንድ ወቅት የኢትዮጵያ ማዕከላዊ መንግስት በጎንደር እንደነበር ስንቶቻችን ነን የምናውቀው በጎንደር የቀደሙ አያቶቻችን ጥለውት ያለፉት ታሪክ የጎንደሬዎች ብቻ ታሪክ አይደለም
Of Gondor family were in Ethiopia, the birth of civilization.
The people, the Dataras, the learned clergy, they did these things. They have many things. They burn the crops, and they can even drink, like rain sometimes. But they learn it, from the spiritual one. If they do that good for things, God will favor them. If they are doing against the God, like bad things out of, one day God will have a time, to punish them. It's not a good thing.
They will reap what they sow.
They will be accused. Most of the time, you will testify here, the first thing. You will come to Alam Saged means he threw the word about to the king. Alam is one, the Saged means kneel down, both. The founder of Gondar. Ethiopia is having, we use a calendar, like solar calendar. It's a little bit similar with the Julian calendar, which is adopted by Eastern Orthodoxy, but there is a huge gap from the Gregorian Western calendar because of 7 and 8 years. And so that's why we concentrate that's why Ethiopia is called there is 7 up 8 years difference. That's the London with Ethiopia and these 7 years we do have also we don't have 0 in our number. We borrow 0 from Arabian numerals, but we have numbers from 1 up infinite. We have numbers. Even our calendar limits counts up to the end of this world. They have the calendar, what we call the church calendar, Abu Shakir or Barasa, the church calendar.
So after you get to 9, do you go back to start with 1 again? You don't have a 0, right?
Yeah, we have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then what's next?
Yeah, we have a number this time. Except 0, we have numbers to infinite,
So you don't have, so you have 10?
This is 1, this is like 10, this is 6, and this is 1600. This is to represent 100. There is this later, 100. And this is 20. And this is 4. 1624
is one full number.
Up
No
to
addition.
16, like 60. You subtract, you get 35 here. We don't have 0. So from the Arabian numerals.
You don't have a 0.
We don't have.
But it's still a 10.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We have a system for counting that.
Right.
Yeah. Pardon? Yeah, we don't have 0 in our numbers like the religious way.
The castles of Gondor family were in Ethiopia, the birth
he died at the age of 64, the first king. Then he succeeded by his son, and his son is named Emperor Johannes the first, and he came to power and built the second, the smaller palace. This one having a two-story palace, and the upper part served as a bedroom, but the ground floor is for his library. He read different spiritual books, and he let them the royal family to read such books in here. He had a library where it looks like a modern one, because that's the most destroyed castle by the Dervish war, by the British bombardment. That was the most destroyed castle. In the 1970s, there was restoration campaign made by UNESCO. One Sandro Angeli from Italy and two from French. They came out the next cement with lime mortar, and they plastered. That's what we call it today, Yellow Palace or Plaster Palace. Before it was plaster for French palace, then plastered one. Emperor Johannes, he was a special king, not only an emperor, he was the first king in the world. He's the one who didn't collect tax or tribute from his people. For his living made anjera basket, a kind of basket work. We make from basket, and we put together and we put the injera, the sultan on top of it. He tries other things to the market, and his soldiers take it to the market, and they sell for the king. Most of the time he led a very simple life, a monastic life. Because of that, they called him the righteous, or the very kind, or a humble king. Even they called the unique in the small castle, castle of love, love castle. Because they lived harmoniously and peacefully, this king. So they didn't pay anything. They are free. He's so religious. He did much of his time, went to the monastery, worshipping and praying.
So Johannes lived here.
Yeah.
Theodros did not live here?
Theodros, he didn't live in this palace, yeah. Because he tried to make one big Ethiopia. So he fought different nobles in different times.
Okay.
So even he didn't get the chance, you know.
There is second Johannes.
This is the first Johannes.
This is the first one.
Yeah, first Johannes. We have 4 Johannes. This is the first son of Emperor Fasilides.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second Johannes is considered to be the great.
No,
No, it is
another one. Yeah, yeah. It's not very powerful one. We have also John Johannes the Third.
The one that
Yeah, one hand king.
Oh.
Yeah. They amputate his hands because of some problem, and also because the other king they want to rule, so he make him like that.
Oh.
Because sometimes there is tricks between the kings also.
That's right.
So there is a fourth king, Johannes. He the one who came after the days of Emperor Theodore II, and the one who make his palace in Mekelle. There is Abraham Castle. So the one who fought the Dervish, the Muslims, and he chased them away as far as Sweden, but he was wounded, and he died, and he succeeded by his son. From that time, no more Islam. Then after that, power was shifted to Addis because of Emperor Menelik II. From that time onward, Addis is the capital, everything.
Okay.
So he's so religious, and he had a very simple life, a modest life, Johannes. That's why he built the smallest palace. Actually, it's an office for him. We call it rather this time as a palace. Like Abraham, for living 175 years old, he said, I shouldn't build a house, so he just lived in a tent. That's why he built the smallest one, like Abraham. He got the money from his father, left over, not from his people. So religious king. That's why they call him Johannes. Even they call the love castle or temple of love, because they lived harmoniously and peacefully without any tension. A very religious king also, and also he's very humble, not only to human beings, he's so kind to animals. He was maybe he was the first animal rights activist in history. You know, in front of his palace, he had a bell. When people, when they have something is unjust happen to them, they will come to the king to accuse, to forward, there, and then to have a solution from the king. One day, it was like a rainy night. There was a donkey. It's famous in Europe also. There is a black donkey history. So it was for a long time. We used that time. We don't have many currency that time as a transaction. We use like a bar of salt, different things as a barter for exchange of So it was carried for a long time. This a bar of salt we brought from the Denakil Depression, the lowest point from Afar, close to the Red Sea. So since he carried a long time these things, his back is wounded. He can't cope up the rain, so he want to hide himself. But as soon as when they passed, he rang the bell. A bell was rung that time. So the king, what kind of people are coming this time, this day, this time? he came up on his window. When you look at, it's not a man, he's a donkey. So he was hurt to felt, you know, when you look at that. So he mixed it, took to his other horses, and he fed him. When he's getting better, when he's okay, he returned to his owner. So the next he proclaimed a declaration: don't carry like our, a wounded animal like a donkey that one. So you should think they're having a life. You should think them like, don't throw them as rubbish things. They gave you many services before when they are okay. Because of that, even a donkey, you know, when the farmers, when they came from the countryside to sell the chicken to the cities and towns, they carry them like this. Half of them hanging down, the other on their back with there is a best friend of the country people. It's called a companion friend. There is a rod, you know, like kind of stick. So you shouldn't carry like them, the chickens. You should carry them upright to the top, looking their God.
Wow.
So he's so kind, not only to animal. So that's why people, they consider the first animal right activist even.
That's right.
Yeah. He's so religious.
Wow.
He ruled 1515, and he built churches in the name of the first monk called Antony Church, and there is God the Father Church on the way to Barda. So religious, so ruled for 15 years. Imagine they went to the monastery, worshiping and praying. That's why he built the smallest one. When we look this time, it's restored to his palace. Now we go to the royal archive here. Then after it built by the first king, but used by other kings who were ruled in this compound. Having two-story palace, and the upper part of it as a bedroom, as an office for the writer of the chroniclers, a writer of the Minister of Pain, at their office, secretariat. They wrote both things, secular and religious, and after written by them, they kept them in the ground floor. The ground floor we call documentation office. They put illuminated manuscript, parchment book, glory of the king, book of the king, the civil code, the penal, what we call this time. After written by, they kept them, and after that, they translated the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, from Hebrew, Israel language, to the classical language, Giz language. Giz is confined in the church and the monastery, spoke by priests and monks. Not every person understood this classical celestial church language. Even we do the service, a mass from each church, a monastery from this classical language. It's a Latin of Ethiopia. So they used to document paper. We call it in short paper castle. Now modern paper parchment. We get it from goat skin, like a venom. So we have a grand castle, we have rainbow castle, we have a love castle, we have a paper castle. So let's inside, and we go to the big castle.
Question.
Okay.
You say cover the brick on the
Yeah, to the restoration part, the 970.
UNESCO.
Yeah.
So what did you call it when they put on plaster?
That was good, but that was the most different castle. It's that kind of restoration of Johannes Palace. It was gone.
ስንቶቻችን ነን ጎንደር የምናውቀው? በአንድ ወቅት የኢትዮጵያ ማዕከላዊ መንግስት ጎንደር እንደነበር ስንቶቻችን ነን የምናውቀው? በጎንደር የቀደሙ አያቶቻችን ብለው ያለፉት ታሪክ የጎንደሬዎች ብቻ ታሪክ አይደለም።
Okay. And again to the bath of King Fasilides, to the swimming pool. As I told you, Fasilides, the emperor, the founder of Gondar, before he came to Gondar, he lived in his father's palace, once before Lake Hana. So, his father, he ruled Ethiopia Emperor Sicilian for 28 years as the king of Ethiopia. And his parents consigned to the country of the Jesuits, the Roman Catholic missionaries. The Jesuits, they came to Ethiopia since 1557, and they tried to convert other emperors, kings from Orthodox to Catholic. They were not successful. They were easily successful by converting emperors from Orthodox to Catholic because of two missionaries, Christians. One was Pedro Paez, a Spanish priest. Another priest from Portuguese by the name Alfonso Mendes. They became and they converted this king, Emperor Sicilian, from Orthodox to Catholic. religion in the year 1620 they became Catholic because of force, because they agitated him. In the 16th century, there was a Muslim leader called Ahmed ibn Ibrahim al-Ghazi. He was a Muslim leader. He was supported by the Zentan superpower Ottoman Turkish. They gave him weapons and soldiers. He born from Harar, from the east. One of World Heritage Site, called City of Harar General. So it's not army weapons. It's not a peaceful kingdom. And they move from place to place. They move from one place and they move the other. They came to that time because it took them because of this war. And they came and they settled down. Maybe you saw it when you are coming from Bahar to Gondar. There's 40 the first castle around here. It's called Guzara Castle, Guzara Palace. And it's by Emperor Saturday in the 15th century. And after that came Emperor Sisinio. And after Sisinio came Fasilides. So, soon as they became Catholic, some of the people taking their sin as an example, they converted and they became Catholic. On the other hand, some of the people, they brought resentment to their father, to their king, that, oh, we don't worship this new religion in our history. We worship what our forefathers worshiping the that's Orthodox religion. Because of that, there was a war. Because the Catholic versus the Orthodox. In one day, where he lived in his house for 24 years, a palace called Denkas or Gondeng is a local name, which is the southeast direction, 8 kilometers far from Gondar, 8 kilos. Where he lived in his house for 24 years in the mountains. They have two parts, like the summer palace and winter palace. Ships from the rainy season, it's winter in the mountains part. In the dry season, because there is also wind coming from Lake Tana, they prefer to be Lake Tana in the dry season. So, in one day, in this palace, one day, 8,000 people come. Within 2 months, 1,000 people, they go to the life. That is not an instruction by the Minister of Kingdom, because there is much bloodshed. And the people there are against him, and there is problem. Because of that, he's not able to administer his kingdom for a long time. Because of that, he proclaimed a declaration, a decree, which stated that, let my son Fasilides be crowned. Let the cattle live out from my country. And let the religion, the original religion comes in its position and reinstates in its position. Because of that, he abdicated his throne in favor of his son, Fasilides. And his son became king. He restored Orthodox religion. He built 7 churches, 8 bridges, and he expelled the Jesuits. Some of them, they went to Southern America, Latin America. Some of them went to Asia. Some of them, they went to different African countries.
These are white Jesuits?
The
Or
Jesuits.
Were they from where?
They're just most from Europe, from Portuguese, from Spanish. So he went out, then he got a peaceful time, then he started to build his own castle and many churches. And he followed a policy, what we call the closed door policy. For 120, he had many contact with the outside world, mostly the European. And instead of that, he maintained a new diplomatic relation with the Muslim countries. Because the coastal regions of Ethiopia, like the Red Sea, that was administered by the Zentan Super Ottoman Turkish. They were Muslim. And the Yemenite. And in 1640, there is a Yemenite ambassador, he visited Ethiopia, Al-Hamili. And he told about the palace, everything, and the relation started with the Muslims. That's why they told to facilitate that the Muslims are eating separately. That's why they had such thing. But he stopped that one because it's not lasted, it's not like their history. So as soon as he got a peaceful time and he started to build his own camp. Because the only time the European, they came to Ethiopia using the porters. They didn't come on land. Land is not safe. There is beasts of the jungle, malaria, mosquito that time. It's very far, the forests are impassable. There is up and down, a river full of water in the Red Sea. So they didn't come for 120. They came during the time of Joshua the First or the Great because he was infected with this disease. So he was, he had a good relation with the French king. That's why he sent his doctor Charles Ponce. So why he built this thing from the very beginning to rebut his father, include his people. He put the ark, the tower by the name Roman martyr called Fasilides. There is a Roman martyr by the name Fasciledes, the equestrian saint. He put inside the copy and he filled with water from a nearby river called Kaha River. And he filled the pool and he repapped his father, including his people. All the people that became Orthodox because he expelled the Jesuits, no more Catholic. As soon as he built that, he used this place as a kind of, as a summer palace, second residential palace. They're coming from the castle compound. When they came here riding the horse, they kept the horse, there is a stable there. You can see the stable. And behind there is a kitchen where they cook their food, and after they prepare, they take to the building there. And they brought with, you know, palanquin, you see? You know, palanquin sedan chair, being carried by 4 people. They carry the king, and they brought to here. It's said to have believed there was a bridge which connected the castle to here, 2 kilometers. The king came on foot along with the bridge. But once in a year, every January 91-9 or January 20 in leap year, we celebrate Timkat Epiphany to colorfully set here in Gondar to remember a baptism of Jesus Christ. He's baptized in the hand of John the Baptist in the river Jordan. Because of that, all the people with the procession singing company and the Ark of the Covenant from a church being carried by the priestess, procession singing accompanied with the people. They're coming here and they spend the night in this building, full of people. So let me show you the other side. This is the second residential palace for the king and their family. There is a acacia umbrella for like an umbrella. Will not rain this time.
Oh, yeah.
There's a kind of, it's a holy water.
Yeah. Yes,
It's a holy spring, yeah. This is the inlet, the sluice gate where the water is coming from the river, 1,000 meters. It flowed down here. Wow. 1,000 meters from the river. Outside there is a river flow down here. A water is coming and they feel it here. This is high, the other side is lower. A water is inclined. It flowed up the deeper side at the other side, almost 2 meters deep the other side. This is very like this. Children, they swim inside the building underneath in this part. Because too shallow here.
Right.
Children. During the king's time, the balcony is not old. It's a new one. It's restored by Ito Norwegian and the rehabilitation program. From the other side, there is a wooden balcony. The king, they dive and they jump to water. If they don't want to jump, from inside, there is a kind of staircase. They go down, they go swimming like this.
So this is their swimming pool.
Yeah. It takes a month to fill it, sometimes 2 weeks to fill it.
Will it still fill up?
Every year from the river, we made a dam 2-3 months before, and then we start to fill it, the pool. Every year for Timkat Epiphania, to remember the baptism of Jesus Christ.
So they still fill it now.
It's still filled every year, yeah. We do it. We do fill it every year. Yes, after it was blessed by the Abuna, by the Patriarch, and after read from a 4 gospel writer, from a book of Timkat Epiphany, and after message delivered by the Abuna, after blessed with a big processional cross, and he put the candle to be flow with the 4 candles to represent the 4 evangelists. And the same there is like another cross to symbolize that's Jesus. During Noah's time, people say because Noah's ship, because of the great flood. At the same time, we say because of Timkat Epiphany. One of 7 sacraments is holy baptism. You know, when Jesus spoke to Nicodemus, according to the Gospel of John, chapter 3, number 5 says, truly, 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 I say to you, unless one is born of a water and a spirit, he can't enter to the kingdom of God. Because of that, it's unless we should be born from to be a son of the like Trinity, you know, to be. So the time is blessed on top of the water. It's a blood water. People will jump and they dive from the branch, and they go inside and they splash the holy water to the congregation.
But I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Is this like the world first concept of a swimming pool?
Could be, or there will be another one. I'm not sure here. I will tell you one thing later.
What time did maybe you guys went?
January 91 night. A new calendar. For us, January 20 is the leap year. One is 4 years. No, every year. In a leap year, once in 4 years, it will be the day changed from 91 night, it will be changed to 20.
Quick question. How do you drain this system?
Water is coming, there is another outlet, they drink the water. They use some pumps to water the garden, the plants. Because after a week is over, after a couple of weeks, water stinks, but from an algae, green, it stinks, so that they drain it.
Nothing new under the sun. The Africans built civilization.
One more time.
Out of the tabernacle, they stay the night in the building inside. Then the other part of the country, when there is no such kind of access, they make a tent for the other of the night to stay. The hour of service, praying all the night here. The mass all continue. They do the flag of Ethiopia in the miniature life. When you be to Cambodia, Angkor Wat, there is a kind of banyan tree like in Cambodia. There is Angkor Wat, a Buddha temple. There is a kind of this tree, a banyan tree. It's in there, see the thing on both ways. It's mostly Asian tree, but it can't find different species in Africa. Sometimes the roots hanging down. Maybe you'll see. For Temket, for Epiphany, on the village church, the twisted, the VIP garden child, they sat there, and then what's the ceremony here? First come, first serve. They performed it, and it is not around 30 minutes. They speak 5, 6 hours, sometimes they take nothing, but they sat there. First come, first serve. The dead come will not have the chance to sit in the VIP seat there. And they will stand here, and they take videos, photo, everything there. And this is the stand of the priesthood, where they bless them. It's a blessing, it's not it's getting rid of some kind of illness disease. It's not real baptism. The real baptism of course the church. It's not here. Yeah, see, there's some people, when they swim, they have the disease, they get rid of their disease. And the other thing, what makes the swimming pool unique, it's bigger than Olympic Games, a swimming pool. Because there's an area of 50 meters with 30. The Olympic is 50 with 25 meters. This one's additional 5 meters. So they get that's the Gondo Referral Hospital, the new building outside. So we just walk down and we go to the church. Because Gondo celebrated for the first time